I promised a story. So Fabrizio commented on one of my things that we were talking about punk rock. Here's the Germs. That's Fantastic Four. It's a shirt that I absolutely love. I'm a punk rocker from, I'm in my 50s, so I was just under the original punks. Like my friend Adam was 5 years older than me, and I always wished I was a little bit older. He saw a lot of the bands that came and went. And there was GG Allin, and GG Allin was disgusting. There's no other way to describe GG Allin. And he died in 1993. He wanted to die on stage. He was going to shoot up a bunch of drugs, go on stage and sing and die. Because, matter of fact, Darby Crash from the Germs almost died on stage. He did a bunch of drugs and came out and sang, and then went behind and died behind the stage. So that was like, how can I top Darby Crash? Well, dying on. But my friend John, he used to say, like, I'm never going to go see GG Allin, because he was always afraid, like, yes, he's going to die on stage, but he's going to take everybody out with him. So he was terrified of GG. And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of scared of that too. So that's the. There's a documentary called Hated the Nation. I don't recommend any human being watch this movie, okay? But I saw it in the theaters. So anyway, cut to I moved across country in right in 93. So this must be in 90 or so. And me and my friends, we were going to downtown Manhattan all the time. I'm going to sound awfully pretentious, but I was full on pretentious at this point, so it worked. So here I am going, and I forget if I was in Hogs and Heifers or downtown Beirut, but there were two bars that were close to each other. We used to go there all the time. When one got too full, we would go to the other one and vice versa. And there was a pinball machine, and I'm playing pinball. And this arm goes around my shoulder, and I'm concentrating on the pinball machine, but that's like a faux pas. You don't touch anybody when they're playing pinball. Usually you just put a quarter on the machine and say, I'm next. So I look over, it's GG Allin. And there's Merle, his brother, over there, and I don't recognize everybody else. And GG Allin is just going, you winning? And now I'm like, am I going to get a bottle to the face? Am I going to get AIDS just for touching this? I
was just going to say, is there Purell around there?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh my God. So like, the ball drops there. He's like, ah. So he goes, all right, next ball. He goes, if you win, and I'm thinking, how do you win in pinball? You just get a good score, you know what I mean? But who knows? And he goes, if you win, and he grabs the waitress and pulls her over uncomfortably. And he goes, if you're a win, she's going to F you. And I'm like, this situation is, my stomach hurts. How do I get out of here gracefully? So he's just watching. He's now fighting with the girl. There's chaos going on. Merle gets up, and I just zoop out the door. And I didn't look back. I just heard whatever, screaming and yelling behind me. I don't know what happened. And I look at that as my near escape. I went next door to where my friends were, and I was like, let's get out of here. Because I didn't know if he was going to remember me or get thrown out, come next door. That was my brush with GG Allin.
That is wild. Yeah, I want to make it clear, I'm not a fan of his.
I don't think anybody should be.
Yeah.
I died with GG Allin.
But I know who he is, yeah, that's crazy.
Blink-182 and Green Day, you guys aren't punk. Punk died with GG Allin. Punk was anti-establishment. It was insanity. It was like subverting our expectations in the real sense of the world. It's you can't top that. You can't top that. My other GG Allin story was my friend John. Now he's in San Diego, and he was working at a pizzeria with some girl, and he was like, hey, you want to go see this band tonight? And he goes, I don't know what I was thinking. He goes, I full on invited her to go see GG Allin. He goes, what was I thinking? So he picks this girl up. They drive down to the club, and he says the first thing they noticed that it was a beautiful club that shouldn't have punk rock bands. He said there was this like beautiful glass mirror that went behind the bar, like in a cowboy movie. You know what I mean? Like just a beautiful, and it's like a saloon, and GG Allin comes on stage naked, covered in his own filth, and he's like screaming, somebody give me a beer, somebody give me a beer. And somebody throws a beer, he catches it, takes a swig, and then throws it, smashes this big gigantic mirror. The bouncers start fighting with him. They're rolling around. The show's canceled. He said that was like 3 minutes.
Man.
Needless to say, he never saw that girl again.
Yeah, that is wild.
So
Yeah, I wasn't into punk not really. My friends were really into punk. I was into hardcore later on, but which is related, but
yeah,
not. It's a totally different. It's a different
what
vibe.
hardcore bands were you into?
I really liked like the New York stuff. So like Sick of It All, Agnostic Front. Later on, sort of like Orange 9mm, Earth Crisis, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway,
The Crumbsuckers? Do you ever listen to
I
them?
don't know them.
They grew up in my neighborhood. I used to go and watch them practice.
Man.
I used to go to the CBGB's hardcore matinee. Shave my head, stage dive and all that stuff. And I made up my rule was once you hit 200 pounds, you're no longer allowed to stage dive. I remember jumping and the crowd just parted like I was Moses, right flat on the ground. And I was like, I'm done. I'll just be the guy in the back with the beer, just doing this from now on.
New York at that time had to be something special.
It was fun. It was fun. My friend John, God bless him. Like as much as I'm into comics and board games, he's still into punk. He lives a couple blocks away from me, and every night he's posting on Instagram shows that he's going to. They just had a big was it Sick of It All or Youth of Today reunion in Thompson Square Park, and he's there front and center. Somebody took a picture, and I'm like, that's my friend John, right? 50-year-old guy, gray hair, still doing, So,
Yeah.
I used to be. Matter of fact, one of my earliest videos is me showing off my record collection. I thought people would be interested in that.
Oh, that's cool.
Got no views. So there you go. I'm babbling. It's 12 minutes. I talked a lot. What do you guys want to say?
To play off that, as for things covered in filth, I planned on doing an opening of this, so we may as well just open this on stream.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna hit the end broad. I'll keep my finger on the end broadcast button just in case.
I'll be dialing 9-1.
There we go. So there was a show called Fish Tank recently. You know the show Big Brother?
Yeah.
It was like that, but totally uncensored and actually live 24/7.
Oh man.
Yeah. So,
I'm definitely keeping my finger hovering over the end broadcast.
right. Yeah. Here's our sweet crumpled up certificate of authenticity because it was shipped in a bag. But this is the shirt of the champion that won. You can smell it. You can smell the victory. And it's supposedly signed. I don't know if it actually is or not. It doesn't look very signed. But that's kind of a disappointing reveal. So now it just looks like a blue T-shirt, which is
What
what it
did you
is.
do? You bought that on eBay or something?
Yeah, yeah. From the producers of the show, and they said they were going to sign it, and they clearly lied. But it is covered in the filth of the house, so it is kind of funny still.
My friend John, I was just talking about the one who's still into punk. He pointed out that there's a website. This guy just hand makes these shirts, and he only makes like 100 or so, and once he's done, they're gone. So I had to get, the Germs and the Fantastic Four.
That's pretty cool.
Shirt was made for me.
And there's very few like comic music crossovers. I think it was Turmoil, old hardcore band. They used Marv from Sin City on their shirt, and I'm like, and this was a long time ago, before the movie, before it really.
That again.
Yeah.
I never would have thought about that again. Well, they're not hardcore or punk, but Monster Magnet. They reference Jack Kirby a few times, and they're a goofy band. They're another band that I like. I saw them opening up for the Butthole Surfers. They performed one 45-minute song and then got off the stage.
That's awesome.
They were good. Yeah. I remember I saw the Butthole Surfers, and it was just like scary. Like I don't know, like we may or may not have been doing things that we shouldn't have been doing, and then sitting in the audience, and then the music could just like scare you. It was like nobody was like doing it. Everybody was like in a trance. Like I remember seeing, like, I used to be into the Doors a lot back in junior high school, and people would describe seeing the Doors as like a terrifying psychedelic experience. And you hear them perform live a few times, and I'm like, okay, So I've never seen The Doors, but I compare that. The Butthole Surfers was a terrifying psychedelic.
I'm sure Gibby would appreciate that
Yeah,
comparison.
yeah. Like I flatter myself saying he's watching this or listening to this. Yeah.
Hello everybody, this is Logan Effling, the creator of the comic book Firewatch. It's an action-adventure in a supernatural setting inspired by the great Gold Key era of non-superhero comics, such as Turok, Tarzan, and the Mighty Samson. If you yourself are into non-superhero comics, I think it's worth checking out.